Wonderful. All right. So welcome to today's Teach and Learn about our security services. Um, we have a variety of staff here today, which is awesome. That are going to help present today. We'll do a quick introduction and then get right into things. So my name is Michaela. Again, I'm a member fulfillment specialist here at WiscNet. If ever you have anything, our member success team is kind of the first contacts for you guys. I'll pass it on to my colleague Ivor.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for being here. Ivor Margevich is the name, and just like Michaela, I am a member fulfillment specialist. Heidi.
Hello, everyone. I'm Heidi Gensler, and I'm a special initiatives consultant. I work on a variety of projects at WiscNet, and I'll talk more about that when we get to my section.
Hi, everyone. I'm Margarita Dobrinina, and I am a secure platform consultant here at WiscNet, along with Ibrahim Hassan.
And good morning, everybody. Of course, I'm having camera issues, so just look at that beautiful image in front of you. But my name's I also work with Margarita as a platform consultant. So nice to meet everyone. Aneta.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Aneta Kusturova, and I work as a controller for WiscNet. So any financial questions or E-rate related, you can send it my way.
All right.
Along with my colleague, Andrea Petri, who is hiding somewhere in the participants that I've just mentioned.
Wonderful. So the three topics that we're going to cover today are SSL certifications, our filtering services, and then our managed firewall. So we will start with SSL certifications, and here to discuss a little bit more about that specifically is our platform consultant, Ibrahim.
Thank you. So, I mean, for the most part, I think you guys know what they are, but we'll just give it like a brief overview of what it is and how to purchase one from WiscNet. But SSL certificates are used to authenticate the identity of a service. Basically, if you have a server or anything and you want it to start searching or moving online, moving traffic, you apply this and it will secure it for you by providing a super long hash that gets sent back and forth between your server and the browser. WiscNet member organizations may purchase SSL certificates from WiscNet. And then, again, it helps with surfing, VPNs, and web servers. WiscNet is partnered with DigiCert, formerly known as GeoTrust, to provide affordable digital certificates. So we help you, give you guys discounts as well. Can we go that way? Thank you. So as most of you know, to send in a request, send it to support@wiscnet.net. You can create a request for a new certificate, a renewal, or a reissue. Renewal is if you have an existing one that needs to be renewed. Reissue normally is when you guys have an issue with a current one, or you want to add like an extra sans or an extra alternative name. You can then regenerate a CSR, send it back, and then we can reissue it. Things that we need to know before to fulfill the request for you. Number one is going to be the CSR, and that is generated on the server or device that needs the SSL certificate. Then we need to know the certificate type. Most common is going to be the Rapid SSL, and then the other one is going to be like the GeoTrust DV, something like that. We can always send you the list of SSL certificates that we offer. Once you guys put in the request, and we can discuss which one best suits you. So no worries there. You can purchase it up to 6 years. We used to limit it back in the day with when GeoTrust used to own the certificates, but now with a DigiCert, they can go up to 6 years. The thing to note as of 2020 is that You can purchase a certificate up to 6 years. However, every year you have to regenerate a CSR and send it back in, and then we reissue it for you. And that's because of safety reasons. They want to make sure that everybody updates a new hash, so that if hackers are not trying to get at your certificate or whatever. So once we have all that information, then we can proceed with generating it for you. So also some extra notes is DigiCert has been getting better at creating wikis on how to install. So if you're having issues installing on a specific type of server, please reach out to us and we can provide you the link, or we can get a support person from DigiCert to help you with that. So, and I think that's pretty much it. Margarita, is there anything else I should mention?
I think you covered it pretty well. I just wanted to add that you already mentioned that the requests need to come through WiscNet. So our members, as of right now, cannot do that. There's no self-service portal for them for members yet. So everything's going to centralize with WiscNet.
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Wonderful. Now, I'm going to pass things on to Heidi to talk about the status of our filtering services.
Good morning, everyone. As I mentioned, I'm a special initiatives consultant, which means I work on a variety of projects. And one of my projects right now is leading a RFP process for our filtering services. We started this last spring, or spring 2022, with a survey. So we asked the membership for feedback about web content filtering needs, specifically what works, what doesn't with your current product that you might use, whether or not you get them from WiscNet. What are some of the requirements you need, and just really trying to learn as much as we could about web content filtering. I know it's an area that's constantly evolving, and so we really needed to kind of know what was the latest and greatest needs for our members. Over the summer, we wrote the RFP. We did enlist the help of some of our members to write it. We had 2 or 3 members that assisted us with that to make sure that the requirement represented what folks needed from a general standpoint. Obviously, we can't get everyone's needs specifically, but we try to do it kind of at a general point. And it was issued at the end of August. We sent it to a variety of vendors. I think it was about 10 or so that we sent it out to. Responses were due back on October 19th, and those are being evaluated right now. They're being read, scored. Again, we sought member involvement to evaluate those responses, and we meet actually tomorrow to discuss our scores, discuss kind of what we thought about the responses. And the plan is that we will bring in the top 3 scoring vendors to do vendor presentations. There will be a set agenda for those presentations. That agenda is yet to be decided. We'll likely base it off of the responses and any gaps that we might see. Do we need more detail on reporting capabilities, or granularity in the filtering capabilities, or granularity in the rules and timing versus location, etc. So that agenda has yet to be developed. The presentation will likely happen in early January. Right now I'm aiming for the week of either January 2nd and or the 9th. And I will be extending an invitation out to the membership to attend these presentations. Again, to get member feedback and to really help share as much information as we can. For those members who currently use the WiscNet filtering service, specifically if you use iBots, whatever we choose, will replace that. iBots did not respond to our RFP, so we know that they will not be awarded a contract. As we work through the contract process and set the business model, etc., we will keep anyone who currently uses our service up to date with features, options, prices, etc., and the timeline, so that you have plenty of time to make a choice as to whether you want to use the solution we choose as part of this RFP, or if you want to find a solution on your own. We understand that whatever we choose may not work for everyone, but we want to at least be as open and transparent and give you as much time as possible to evaluate your options and make your decision. So our hope is that we will make an award by mid-January and hopefully have a contract shortly thereafter, so that we can work on setting the transition plan, etc., and have the transition for anyone currently using iBot done by the end of the contract, which is June 30th of 2023. Obviously, we don't want to wait till the last minute, so the goal is to hopefully have that all done by early June. And if anyone has any questions or concerns about that, please let me know. You can reach out to member success at WiscNet, and any one of the team will get that, and we will get back to you with any answers about any questions or concerns that you might have. Back to you, Michaela.
All right, wonderful. We're going to move on to Firewall. Ivor?
All right.
Take it over.
Well, thank you. Thank you, Heidi. Thank you, Michaela. Yeah, another service that we are providing, and it's peaking in its popularity lately, is WiscNet Managed Firewall. And I will let Margarita actually cover that. Margarita.
Thank you, Ivor. So yes, WiscNet has been offering a managed firewall service for quite a while now, and this is a WiscNet managed service, and WiscNet provides the hardware and maintains the hardware and licensing for this service, and we work with our members to determine the firewall model that fits the needs the best. We do have, and I'll touch on the next slide, but we have recommended models, currently a couple of recommended models, but ultimately if none of them work for your organization, we'll find the right one for you. So the firewalls that we offer currently are Fortinet firewalls, and that's an upgrade from Cisco ASAs we've offered in the past. Over the course of the summer, we upgraded our members' firewalls from Cisco ASAs to FortiGates. This service is offered, like I said, as a managed service, and if you would like to co-administer the firewall along with WiscNet staff, you're welcome to do so. And the co-managed service, you will have access to a lot of features and a lot of configuration, but there are some limitations to that. So we have a member profile for member permissions, so for administering the firewall. And if you feel like you are comfortable with the managing and you think you need access to additional sections of the configuration, we can discuss that and see if we can grant you access to that. So next slide, please. So currently, we recommend two models, FortiGate models, the 201F and 601E. Both of these firewalls are 10 gig capable. The 201F has a lighter throughput. So if you, if we recommend this model for like a smaller organization, smaller school district, for up to 300 students. The 601E model has a higher throughput with UTM features and higher SSL VPN and site-to-site VPN throughput. But like I said, both of them 10 gig capable. It really depends on what you're looking for. Both of these firewalls, you can add UTP licenses to them, the Unified Threat Protection. So the FortiGate firewalls without UTP licenses, they do come with SSL inspection and application control. But if you'd like to take advantage of, malware protection, intrusion prevention, web filtering, that will require additional licenses. And both models come with 24/7 FortiCare. So we have access to 24/7 Fortinet support. And again, if currently we do not offer like self-service with Fortinet support. So if you think you need to contact them, or if there's an issue that our support team cannot resolve, we can always reach out to Fortinet support. Next slide, please. So the transition process, so this was kind of a, this process we built over the summer when we were transitioning our members from Cisco ASAs to FortiGates. We asked to allow 6 to 8 weeks lead time, for 6 to 8 weeks for the transition process once WiscNet has the hardware. So once you commit to this service, our purchasing team will order the hardware, and the lead time from the supplier is about 2 months. It can vary, depends, it can depend, but like it's 2 months, about 2 months. So once we order the firewall, we can actually start working before it even gets to WiscNet. We can start working on the configuration. We can review the current firewall configuration with you, see if, if things can be cleaned up, if there are any stale policies, and also discuss what you're looking for in your new firewall. And we can talk about setting up, if you don't already have SSL VPN. We can, if you purchase the UTP license, we can talk about how you would like your security features to be configured and things like that. So once we configure the firewall, the new FortiGate, we will schedule a meeting for configuration review, and we can make any last minute changes. Like, we'll show you the GUI, what it looks like. We can kind of do a little overview of the sections of the configuration, and you can see how things are configured. Then once that is done, we'll get the firewall out to you, and we'll meet, and hopefully the cutover goes well. Most of the cutovers we've done this summer went pretty smoothly, I would say. Because the firewall is configured, you get it online. Once it's online, have access to it, and we can start testing things. One thing we will ask that you put together a list of things you would like to test during the transition call. And also for the migration call, we ask that you allow about 5 hours, 4 or 5 hours. It doesn't usually take that long, but just in case. So yeah, so that's really what I had.
Well,
And-
thank you, Margarita.
Yeah,
And
thank you.
again, if you have any questions, please feel free to leave them in our chat, and we'll tend to them in the end of the meeting. Now, I believe it's Aneta's turn to talk about our business model, Firewall business model, and its advantages. Aneta?
Thank you, Ivor. Hi, everyone. Our firewall business model for the FortiGate changed, like, I think a year ago. Before we had one fee, and we had percentages of that fee being E-rate eligible. As we went through the firewall pricing and how to structure it to be more clear, now we separated some of the things like the hardware, the components of the hardware. It's a one-time cost. It gets billed in the first year. Again, depends on the model of if you have 201F or 601E or a different model that works better for your organization, that will be invoiced the first year. WiscNet gets a good percent discounted from Fortinet, and we pass that along to the membership. So the fee for the hardware, you're gonna get that discounted fee that WiscNet gets from Fortinet. The UTP licenses, that's something that you can add. That would be a separate line on your invoice. It's not E-rate eligible, but it's good to be there. So it's like separate, especially if you're working with E-rate, you can just make sure that's not E-rate eligible fee.
We sell it. And I'm not saying that Black people need change.
The annual fee that you see, WiscNet Firewall annual support fee and maintenance fee, that is the fee that WiscNet charges to support your service along with the FortiCare. And that fee is also E-rate eligible 100%. The second year, it's just the UTP licenses, or if you don't have, it's the annual support fee and maintenance in the third year as well. So it's a 3-year contract. This way we are able to get a good discount and walk the pricing. We've seen with Fortinet that pricing goes up every year. So it's nice to have a 3-year walked price with them. We pay those 3-year services in advance, but you only pay the hardware in the first year, and then you're able to pay the next year and third year separately. If you look at that, the eligible cost for the 3 years, it's around 70% E-rate eligible, which is much better when we separate them from before. I think we would only had like 40% of the fee eligible. So this was a nice way for those who use E-rate to be more clear for them on their forms. Again, if you have any questions of current pricing for firewall, or you want to learn more in depth, you can always contact our team at Member Success at WiscNet.
Thank you, Aneta. It's always very helpful with E-rate coming almost here, I should say. Always good to know those numbers. And next here we have our members' experience, and DJ Scully, Director of Technology at the School District of Fort Atkinson, kindly agreed to talk on the subject. And he'll be sharing his experiences on switching from Palo Alto to FortiGate Firewall. DJ, take it away.
Thanks for having me. Yeah, we had a 1 gig Palo Alto firewall, and I think it was at the end of 2019. We decided to put a 470 E-rate application for a 10 gig firewall. And so beginning of 2020, started getting some bids for that. And if you ever want sticker shock, to look at a 10 gig Palo Alto firewall, those things they're just way out of our price range. E-rate certainly helps for buying the unit, but they don't help with some of the additional services, the recurring costs, like the content filtering, which we needed, and the deep packet inspection, and just the support for it. And the Palo was just out of our price range. So that's when I learned that WiscNet did this managed firewall service. And what we really liked about it was there's no large upfront cost for the unit. It was broken out over the course of 3 years, and over those 3 years there was a good percentage of the costs that were E-rate eligible, so that was quite helpful. So we ended up awarding the E-rate bid to WiscNet for a firewall, and that's where I got paired up with Margarita and Ibrahim to do the implementation of it. So they ordered the unit, got the right optics. We downloaded our Palo configuration, sent that over to them, and they got to work configuring the FortiGate 601E. And we don't have a really complicated setup. We've got a couple of like site-to-site VPNs with some vendors, and with a data center up in Madison. We've got a VPN connection to allow technical staff to VPN into our network, that sort of thing. The cutover, I remember the cutover, which was the summer of 2020. We didn't have anything going on that year. It went over quite well, actually. I was quite surprised how smooth it was. Firewalls, when you switch from a Palo to a Forti, they're quite a bit different. So there were a few little kinks along the way that we had to work and fine tune, but there was nothing like overly complicated, or there was no significant downtime. It just took a little bit of time, you know, screwing the screws, tightening the bolts, and getting the new FortiGate working the way we wanted it. And it's been working quite well. I really have no issues with it, to be perfectly honest. It does everything that the Palo did. A lot of people say, well, why are you switching from a Ferrari to a Chevy? But the FortiGate has been holding up very, very well for us. So I highly recommend it. I think that's all I got in my notes, unless anybody has any questions for me about our experience.
Thank you, DJ.
Yeah, if anyone has questions specifically for DJ right now, feel free to unmute and ask him anything that you would like. Otherwise, we have our questions at the end, but yeah, specifically for DJ, definitely unmute and let us know.
Hey guys, this is Ibrahim from WiscNet. I just want to add on to what DJ was saying. It's like it gives you the opportunity when you're doing this conversion or getting a firewall from WiscNet to look over your rules. You know, obviously some people do it or have their configuration set up better than others, but this is a good chance to review and see what's stale and what needs to be updated and things like that. The other thing too is because some of you guys don't have maybe the IT staff to handle the firewall and everything, or it's all belongs to one person. WiscNet can manage it for you and keep on top of the updates and stuff like that. So a little bit of off your plate as well.
Thanks, everyone.
All right, if no
Okay,
one has questions
thank you, DJ.
specifically.
Thank you, Ibrahim.
So our next teach and learn is going to be so some of you may or may not remember, but we at WiscNet used to do a third Thursday. So every third Thursday of the month, we would get together and talk about really anything that was relevant, or just kind of, we would get together on the third Thursday of every month. But we are hoping after these last almost 3 years of a little not normal operations with COVID, we're hoping to kind of get back into that routine of just more frequent calls like this, or just chats with you guys. But with the holidays, this will be our last of 2022, and we will pick up Thursday, February 16th of 2023. So keep an eye out for communications coming out in the next couple months about what that meeting is going to be about. But we're hoping to get into a little more regularity with our Teach and Learns. So just to give us time to hang out with you guys and learn from you and also teach you what we know. If you have any questions after this meeting today, then we will feel free to reach out to us at Member Success. I see there's no questions in the chat, but I do see that August has raised a hand. So,
hi, this is August. I'm just curious. I know this is maybe a little bit of a stretch for this conversation, but is there something that's hot for everybody that we didn't talk about? And I'm just meaning this from a community perspective, not necessarily from a product perspective. Is there some security specific thing that, because there's 60 people on the call here,
yeah.
is there something hot that everybody, whether you put that in, right away, somebody pops something up, MFA. That's the kind of thing that whether we do that through WiscNet or through groups, it's basically a community. So please, if you've got something that you're feeling hot, like whoever just popped up the MFA thing, multi-factor authentication or two-factor, please bring it up, because there's probably other people asking. And if WiscNet knows EDR, there's another one. If WiscNet knows about these things, whether they can provide the service directly or not, then at least they know. So it gives them options to be able to grow the services to match our needs. So I'm just throwing that out there. I know it's a kind of not exactly fitting, but I just wanted to throw it out, and I'll shut up now.
Yeah, Ibrahim, Margarita, do you have anything to add on the MFA or the EDR?
Yeah, go ahead, Margarita.
Oh, I was gonna say, so with the FortiGate firewall, you can set up the 2FA for SSL VPN users that does require like the tokens, 40 tokens. They're not like super expensive from what I recall, but that would be like additional thing that you need to pay for, unfortunately. But there is an option to do it through for SSL VPN users to do it through like FortiGate.
And I don't know how many of you guys went to the Governor's Summit, the cybersecurity one, a few months back in Wisconsin Dells. But Alan, is it Greensburg of the DOJ, I believe, is that correct, Margarita? Stated that anybody who had two-factor or MFA configured, even if their credentials got hacked, they were never able to get into their environment. So the MFA is very, very important, and the FortiGate can handle that. As for EDR, as Mike Van Slambrook mentioned, we're looking into those options as well. But yeah, that's one thing that we are looking into, and is also very important. I see a lot of chatter in the group chat. If anybody wants to jump in from the members to say anything, feel free.
Yeah, one thing that came in from Patrick was on a different topic of replacements. So we'll circle back to that one. But if any members, want to chime in on
Looks like August and Mike Van Slambrook have their hands raised.
Hey everyone. I just wanted, on the EDR solution, I just wanted to kind of let you know, I guess last year we actually purchased the Forta EDR, which actually integrates with our Fortinet firewall. And so far that's the rollout of that has been really smooth. The product is outstanding. They did offer us a package deal like for a 3-year contract. It is hosted by Fortinet or FortiGate. So far it's been working well.
Very
Thank you,
nice.
Mike.
Yeah,
Yeah.
good to know.
Yes.
We might have to reach back out to you and see exactly what
Yeah.
what capabilities it has. Yeah,
Sure, not a problem.
thank you. And August, if you had a follow-up.
Not really. I'm just watching through the chat that I'm betting most people would be interested in knowing what the most common, multi-factor, what is it, Duo? Is it the FortiGate? Or, if those are the only two, maybe those are the two that, that creates a knowledge base within the custom or within our pool.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say customer base, but it's partners,
Yeah,
it's each
members,
other.
members. Yes,
Yeah,
exactly.
members,
There you go.
exactly.
Yep.
So that's my 2 cents is just if it looks like we're using similar tools, and maybe if we're not, maybe that's, if 90% of us are using 2 tools and there's 3 other tools, that might drive those people to move towards one of the 2 big ones. And I don't even know it's 2 big ones. Don't get me wrong. I'm just throwing that out for discussion.
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, from the WiscNet perspective, the FortiGate's what we mainly use, but we've heard other members talk about Duo. I can't remember the other one that they members mentioned, but
yeah, the thing with why Brown County liked Duo is it could use like an analog phone and it would just, you'd had to push a key. So it solved the problem of people not potentially having a mobile phone that they would give us access to. So they just had to give us any phone number and then we could do Duo. So I don't know if FortiGate does that, but that was the kind of, call it, the thing that pushed it over the top for us was that ability to be able to use a boring analog phone as the second factor.
Interesting. Good to know. I think we're gonna need to do a follow-up with you as well. This is all good information.
And then the other thing I thought about was maybe in future ones, you could have discussions about those hot points that came up in the individual chats, which was the cyber insurance. I'm trying to remember them. People had talked about 2-factor cyber insurance, the endpoint protection, which you've just brought up, but
yeah,
you could talk about that. And I'm looking through the notes here.
So the
And
quick
cyber
service
response, yeah, the cyber response plans and the what did we say? It was the tabletops.
Yep.
So I can't help myself. I always jump in and
no, this is good. This is good.
so
I mean,
if anybody else wants to jump in, please do. I mean, am I on track here? Am I bringing up stuff that people care about?
Yeah. Good questions. But this is exactly what WiscNet is trying to do, and we're trying to build that or increase the communication between the members. Exactly. So what's like the best way we could do this? Is it a forum? Do we do these more often? Maybe, we'll have to figure that from our end as well.
Well, it looks like a couple people agreed, so.
That's
Passwords, all the topics. Okay.
I just wanted to jump in really quick and just say that, hearing stuff like this helped a lot during writing the filtering RFP. We had heard about the multi-factor authentication issue, especially in relationship to the cyber insurance. And so when we wrote the RFP, we made sure to have that as a requirement so that we could at least ask about it and use that to kind of make an informed decision. So hearing any of this can be really helpful as not only from a community standpoint, but then also just as we are evaluating our services and how can we improve those.
Okay, it's August again. Can't help myself. Anybody else who didn't talk If there's hot button things, you know, you're not in the chat, just speak up, unmute, and let us know what you think, if we're on track or not with adding this more kind of open discussion side of things.
One thing in the
Or-
chat. Oh,
Or not.
What was the other big one? The phishing training as well is one that we always hear about.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Mm-hmm. Are people looking into that, or what are they using for the phishing training? August, are you guys doing it?
Yes.
Okay, and what are you guys using?
I don't know, they switched. I'm not the CIO anymore, and now just the
No, before
broadband guy.
InfoSec. Okay.
Yeah,
pretty
we
cool.
were using No before, and I think
Mhm.
they switched to the InfoSec Institute. And I
Okay.
think they're switching again to a different one,
Okay.
but
Cool.
we are doing it.
Very nice. Yeah. Everybody I know before. I know before. Okay. There was an InfoSec and there was one other one in the start. And why are you changing, August?
I'm not part of IT now.
Okay.
I'm independent, but my
Mhm.
guess is it's financial and just plain product alignment. So
Gotcha.
if they're doing Fortinet, they may do
Mhm.
Fortinet something else because they're
Gotcha.
switching firewalls. So
Gotcha. Cyber risk aware here at Carthage. Okay. Cool. Very nice. Yeah. Thank you, everyone who's mentioning stuff in the chat. So phishing training, tabletops, and cyber insurance. Okay.
And I think that we had actually a member who recently asked Mike Daly,
Mhm.
and Ivor found that there is a state contract that's available, very good pricing about InfoSec. So I know they were looking about No before, but they
Okay.
were going to look at the InfoSec since there is a state contract already with good pricing that the members can use.
Mhm.
Off of the topic of MFA and cyber insurance, Patrick Armstrong had a question. Does WiscNet facilitate hardware replacement for failures? I.e., if his specific model died, can he drive to Madison that evening and pick up a replacement?
So the answer is yes. Now, if a bunch of them fail all at once, it becomes a little tricky, but as so long as we have it on site, we can configure it and get it out hopefully that day. Easier if you're closer and within driving range. It becomes a little bit more difficult when you're kind of far away, but we can always meet halfway or something as well.
I see Todd had a question about reaching out to talk about the redundant connections. So that conversation, you can email really support or member success at wiscnet.net and start the conversation there. But even if you email support, we'll direct the conversation to the right people.
Yeah, and if we do hear enough questions about that, we can do a tabletop or whatever, or But yep, thank you for that.
And Todd, you also, I see earlier a question in the chat about the redundant firewalls and paths. So we do have several members that have redundant firewalls through WiscNet. And so if you, it will kind of like, this is not our, standard kind of design, but like I see that there's a lot of interest, more interest than before about the redundant firewalls, redundant connections. So it's kind of, we don't have like I said, a standard design for it. So it will all depend. It will be like a custom design we'll need to do with you. So we can, schedule a meeting if you like, and talk about that more. but we do that. The short answer, yes, we do that for other members.
Yep.
Wonderful. Does anyone else have any questions, comments, any ideas for future talks? Definitely throw them in the chat if you do. We're making note of all of these and are going to try to incorporate them as best we can into future discussions. Yes, a lot of things are becoming cloud-based for sure, Todd. The age of technology we live in. All right. Well, if we're getting more crickets, so than we were before, does anyone else have anything from the team last minute that they want to throw in here?
Yeah, Mickey, I just wanted to let folks know that another procurement that I've been working on for a while now that it's still in progress, but as the connections come up, is we are working on basically a procurement mechanism for circuits, and to try to make it easier for folks to procure circuits, so that we'll negotiate the terms and conditions and hopefully make that easier. I've been negotiating contracts with providers. It's going to start out small, but as soon as that's complete, we'll be releasing that out to the membership as well, and hopefully that will help make getting those redundant connections easier for folks.
Wonderful. All right. Well, thank you all so much for joining us. We'll be sending out the recording, yeah, within a couple days, week or so. But feel free to reach out to us at any time. The email is right there on the screen, or just support@wiscnet.net. Either way, you will reach one of us. Yeah, so thank you, and we hope you have a great rest of the week.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good
Bye.
one.
Thank you.